What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a standard Q&A video. I know it's been a little while, but now we're back with the regular content. No more live streams for a little bit. So with that said, put your questions down below and let's get this started. First question, can I use hook grip for rack pulls above the knee? I always have a problem pulling the second wrist straps on tightly, so one side always gets worked more than the other. All right, well, first I'm gonna answer your question. Yes, you could do rack pulls above the knee or even below the knee with a hook grip. The only problem, though, is that because the rack pull is an overloading exercise, you will find that as you get stronger, your thumbs will without a doubt be the limiting factor. Because you can be a 500-pound puller off the floor, but you're rack pulling the thousands. This is a very possible scenario. So if you're doing hook grip with 1,000 pounds, do you think that's a good idea on your thumbs, man? Does that really make sense? I mean, for the rack pull above the knee, you can use such heavy weights, guys. Even with a mixed grip, you can go very heavy. I mean, I just don't think it's a good idea to use the hook grip on it. You're going to have unbearable thumb pain, and you're really kind of pushing the limits of what your thumbs can do here. So I recommend double overhand with straps. Now, you told me that it feels very strange. It feels uneven. It feels off on one side, right? Well, my advice for you is to get better straps and to watch a tutorial on how to put on straps, because you're probably not doing it correctly, and that's why it's all uneven. But once you get the hang of it, once you got the experience down and you have a good pair of straps, I use the Iron Mind myself, you're not going to have problems again with the bar slipping. And if that's not going to fix it, then it's probably because you're using a shitty bar. And in that case, I can't really help you. My only advice would be get a better barbell. So that said, let's move on to the next question. Is it enough to change a grip with hook, overhand, fat grips, mixed, feet angle, frog, straight, and stance wideness in the deadlift to avoid the biological law of accommodation? Thanks. Absolutely, man. That will, without a doubt, override the biological law of accommodation. You mentioned grip width, right? Well, if I do a regular grip, that's called a conventional deadlift. If I grab the rings, or if I just grab really, really wide, that's called a snatch grip deadlift. And the snatch grip deadlift is arguably harder than a deficit deadlift. It's very, very difficult, and it's a completely different movement to the standard conventional. So yes, you can override the biological law of accommodation with little tweaks like that. If you go from conventional 1 week, sumo the next, those are two totally different lifts. If you go sumo 1 week and then semi-sumo the next, again, you're going to override the biological law of accommodation. If you go close 1 week, wide the next, you're doing the same thing. And the same applies to the bench press. You see, I like to override it by using bands and other equipment like that and using pins. And I like to do stuff like that. But if I wanted to raise my deadlift, sure, I would include variations like that as well. And the same thing could be done in your block pulls, by the way. You can do like week 1, standard conventional block pull, then week 2, snatch grip. Then you increase the height of the block, conventional, snatch, and you alternate like that. So yes, little tweaks will override the biological law of accommodation, which means no plateaus for you. So that's that. Next question. Yo, Alex, what is your opinion on the Anderson squat? I love the Anderson squat. And Paul Anderson was way ahead of his time. He claims to have done a 1,200-pound squat, you know. And if that's true, well, man, that is very, very impressive, because he claimed to have done it raw, you know. So was this guy even from this planet? I mean, Paul Anderson was way, way, way ahead of his time, and there are many records that he did back in the day that people can't even beat right now. So what are my thoughts on the Anderson squat? It's Paul Anderson approved, baby. And for those who don't know, the Anderson squat is basically a pin squat done with good range of motion. It's typically dead stop, like you just get under it and you go back up. And Paul Anderson actually used the progressive range of motion method to get very strong. So next time you hear someone saying that partials don't work, or they should just do full range of motion, tell them to suck Paul Anderson's dick. Or ask them, are you stronger than Paul Anderson? Okay. So yeah, Anderson squats, fantastic tool. I've used them as well in the past. And I also like to do a progressive range of motion method, which Paul Anderson, George Lehman, Bob Peoples, a lot of guys have used successfully. So yeah, give it a shot. Next question. Hey Al, how fast do you think one should cut? I think you should lose no more than 1 to 2 pounds of pure fat a week, unless you are obese or your body fat is really, really high. Here's the thing, right? The leaner you are, in my opinion, the smaller the calorie deficit should be. Whereas the fatter you are, the greater the deficit could be. So if you weigh 300 pounds and you're like really, really fat, you can easily lose more than 2 pounds a week. You're not going to have any problems. You're not going to lose any muscle. You're not going to have any adverse side effects. You just have too much fat on your body. Now, if you're 20% body fat, if you're trying to lose like 3 to 5 pounds a week, that's going to be a problem. So I recommend you go 1 to 2 pounds a week. 1 to 2 is always going to be an excellent range, you know? And if you're scared of losing muscle, you want to take it a little bit slower, just go 1 pound a week and you should be fine. So the range for that in terms of calorie deficits is 10 to 20%. Do that, you're not going to have any problems. So that's that. Next question. What is the best exercise to get a silverback gorilla ass? Well, there are many exercises that can give you that effect. But if I can give you my personal favorite, and this is based off experience, it would have to be the reverse barbell lunge. Guys, when I did that exercise in the past, my glutes got massive. They got big as fuck. And I was doing 225 for reps in that exercise, you know? And I could probably build up to it again. It's a sick lift, and you really feel your glutes and hamstrings working like crazy. You get so sore in that area, and you have trouble breathing. It's a total body conditioner. The reverse barbell lunge is out of this world. Give it a shot, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, based off my experience, that seemed to have been the most beneficial lift. But if I want to give you my general advice, I would say just train like a powerlifter. Do a lot of squats and deadlifts with the relevant accessory lifts that build these movements, and you're gonna have a big ass. Have you ever seen a raw powerlifter who had small legs? Or not small legs, but small glutes? They all got the booty, man. Every single raw powerlifter who competes at an elite level, they all got that booty. Some of them even better than bodybuilders, you know? So train like a powerlifter, man. Squats and deads, best way to build your glutes, in my opinion. Should I do zercher or front squats? Why not both? I personally rotate between the two because they're both fantastic. The zercher squat, I mean, we can argue it's a little bit more upper back because you can keep the body, like the bar, tighter to you. But then again, you can also say that the front squat is more upper back because you got the elbows high. And the fact that you got to maintain such incredible thoracic extension is going to get you jack up there. That's why a lot of Olympic weightlifters have nice traps in upper back. They do a lot of front squats. So both are similar. The zercher is a little bit different because you can sit back a lot more and you can shove your knees out. In terms of like universal squatting, I would say the zercher squat is probably has better general strength carryover because it mimics more back squat. You can sit back on a zercher squat a lot more. On a front squat, it's a bit harder to do that. You really got to bend forward with the knees. But honestly, I say do both. I always do both because they're both incredible. I just can't describe it enough. So I wouldn't say zercher or front squat. I say do both. So that's that. Next question. Can you do concurrent training with a subset of higher reps, meaning on intensity days, you would do it 10 reps. Then on volume days, you do 15 plus reps. I say this because the shorter rest periods in both sessions would save a lot of time, especially for me as a college student, and it is much safer. No, thanks. Honestly, you could totally do that. You know, for me, I do happen to be interested in extreme strength development, and therefore I will be using the max effort method on my intensity days. But if you read Naturally Enhanced, you'll see that the 1 rep max is optional. You can actually do a 1 to 5 rep max. So you can keep it in the 5s if you want to. You can even do Matt Wenning style, basically going like 85, 90%. And not truly maxing out. So that's totally doable on your intensity days. You don't have to copy me. That's just how I like to train because I love lifting super heavy. And I mean, even if it doesn't give me extra hypertrophy benefits, the fact that I'm getting so much stronger to me is worth it. But yeah, on your intensity days, if you want, you can keep it 85, 90%. You can do reps of 5, you can do reps of 6 to 8 if you want to. You don't have to do max effort and you'll be fine. Then on your volume days, you just do it super high volume. But yeah, you're probably not going to get as strong doing it, but you're still going to gain excellent amount of size. So if your goal is like strictly bodybuilding related, then I'd say that's doable. Am I going to do this? No. Am I going to recommend this? No. I still think that dividing them like completely differently. One day is balls to the wall intensity. One day is balls to the wall volume. I truly believe that this is the best way to get bigger and stronger without drugs. But if you want to do like a little bit higher reps on your intensity days because you don't feel like maxing out or whatever, and you got bodybuilding goals, be my guest. It's just not something that I would do or personally recommend. But you're not going to have any problems if you go that route. So that's that. Next question. I feel sore after full body workouts. I do squat, bench, chins, overhead press, 3 sets each. No grinding, no max effort. If I cut squats, I feel good. Or one day squats and do OHP, another day bench and chin-ups, also a lot better. But whenever I do all of them, I feel like shit next days. Okay, this is extremely simple, man. It's because you're not periodizing your training, nor is there any organization to what you're doing. You're just throwing in the main compound lifts, doing that shit 3 times a week, 3 by 10 or whatever you're doing, and you're calling it a day. That's something that a novice would do. And if you're like intermediate or advanced and you try copying those routines, you're going to have recovery problems. You're going to be sore. You see, that is why full body gets a bad rep. That's why you have idiots coming on the internet saying that full body is only for beginners. Because you'll have a guy who's intermediate advanced who tries replicating a novice setup, which does not work. I'll be the first to tell you that you can't use a novice style progression system if you're more advanced than that. It is not going to work. So in your case, you're following some basic ass shit where it's the same thing 3 times a week, and it's not going to work. Of course, you're going to have problems. So you said that when you take out squats one day and you do it on the next, you feel better. Well, that's because you're organizing your training, man. So how about we organize this a little bit more, right? How about, because you said 3 times a week, you start doing heavy, light, medium. All right, start with that. 1 day heavy, 1 day light, one day volume, right? On top of that, change the exercise selection for each day. Don't just do barbell squat Monday, barbell squat Wednesday, barbell squat Friday. How about you do barbell squat Monday, front squat Wednesday, zercher squat Friday? Do something like that. Same thing for your overhead press. Monday you could do standard overhead press. Wednesday could be a seated overhead press. And then Friday could be a dumbbell press. Divide it like that. And then the sets and reps, don't just do 3 sets of 10 every fucking exercise. On your light day, keep it at a lower percentage, increase the reps. On your volume day, medium percentage, maybe 55, 75%. Then on your intensity day, go balls to the wall. If you organize it like that, say goodbye to the soreness, say goodbye to the overreaching, say goodbye to all that bullshit. You're going to recover excellent, and you're going to be able to push yourself extremely hard and make the best strength gains of your life. So that's all you need. All you need in your life, my friend, is some periodization and a little bit of organization, and full body will work just fine. So that's that. Next question. Yo, Alex, I've recently added a squat after rack pulls on intensity day and on volume days. However, doing rows and shrugs afterwards really drains me. Is this because of the lower work capacity, or how can I fix this? Yeah, I understand what you're talking about, man. Especially if you do squats. Squats drain you more than anything else, arguably. Like if you do 20 rep squats, man, you can't even move after that. You're completely exhausted, you know? If you're doing max effort squats, not so much the same, but volume squats in particular, yeah, that shit is draining. So I can see why you might have problems when you go do your rows and stuff. So in that case, when you're done your barbell back squats, just take a rest. Go to a coffee shop, right? Get one, or bring some juice to the gym, like orange juice and something like that. Rest for 10 minutes, just chillax a little bit. If there's a couch at the gym, lie down on that, right? Just chill. 10 minutes, all about you. Check your Facebook messages, do what you gotta do. And then resume your training. Sometimes we need to do this after a lot of squats. Squats are not really easy to do, you know? And then eventually you want to reduce that time. So instead of resting 10 minutes, you could rest 8 minutes. And you bring it down to the point where you're not taking breaks whatsoever. So for me personally, I can do my entire full body workout without breaks. I don't need breaks because I've been doing it for so many years. I can do my rack pulls, my squats, my rows, all that stuff, and then I'm still ready for bench. Or vice versa. I could start off with bench, and then I'm ready for rack pulls and all that other stuff. So I would also say that you do have a work capacity issue, and that will develop with experience and doing a lot more GPP work. So optimize your program, get some more experience in the gym with the full body setup, you know, and don't worry about it. You'll be fine. It takes a little bit of time to adapt, but once you adapt, you'll be able to fly through those workouts. Like you start off with, with bench, then all your accessories, then rack pull, squat, rows, boom, you're good to go. So hope that helps you out. Next question. Are there any particular recommendations for GPP that doesn't include the prowler shovel? I don't have that in my gym. Yeah, you don't need to use a prowler or anything like that. GPP work just means that you're conditioning your body. It's general physical preparedness. And that could even be calisthenics. Personally, the vast majority of my GPP work comes from doing park workouts or just working out at home, you know? That's honestly what I do. I'll do very, very high rep push downs. Like connective tissue training is part of that equation as well. And I'll do a lot of push-ups, even bodyweight pull-ups, things of that nature. So it's mainly calisthenics for me. I don't even do the prowler. I don't own one in my gym. I have a sled, but I rarely ever use it. You know, so I mainly do calisthenics. And then I also have a sandbag that weighs 70 pounds. And I'll do stuff with that too. I'll do like push presses. I'll do some oblique stuff with it, you know. I'll do some lunges. So you don't need a lot of weight. You don't need anything crazy. You can even do farmer walks as GPP. 5 sets of 20, boom, you're done. You can do bear hug walks at the end of your workout. You can do the waiter's walk. You don't need specialized equipment. So for me, it's mainly calisthenics with a bit of weights in there too. And then of course, I throw in the bands. So it's very simple. So that's that. Next question. You say that mini home workouts strengthen tendons and ligaments. With that said, can this help avoid any kind of tendinitis? It will absolutely help you if you have tendinitis. I've had guys on this channel who had terrible, terrible elbow tendinitis. They watched my video about the bands, right? And they started doing band push downs and band curls every single day at home. And guess what? Their tendinitis, the pain anyway, went away completely. Now they're doing extensions, they're doing overload training, they're doing all these things without pain. And personally, I used to have a lot of elbow pain when I used to do extensions, right? And when I started doing the band push downs and the band curls, all that pain went away. I mean, I still get it occasionally because you can't really get rid of it completely because of my elbows there, but you can still work with it. So yeah, definitely do your connective tissue work. Same thing for the knees. If you do a lot of leg curls, leg curls with bands, leg curls with ankle weights, all these things, you're going to see tremendous benefits. You're not going to have as much pain in the knees. Same thing if you do a lot of band good mornings and reverse hypers and all these wonderful things. So yeah, it can actually help prevent tendinitis. It can help if you have it and possibly even reverse it. So that's that. And by the way, I'm not a doctor. So next question. What do you think about doing wrist exercise every day using a bucket with sand? All right, this is basically where you take your hand, shove it in a bucket, and you open up. It's to work the finger extensors. In terms of doing this every day, I would say that's probably a fine thing to do. Now, if you're going to be doing wrist flexion exercises, that might pose some problems because you're already going to be overdeveloping this area. But with wrist extension or just finger extension in general, I think that's a fine thing to do. So I use bands at my home. I have the Open Your Hand band pack from Ironman, and I just go boom, boom, boom every single day. Beautiful thing. So give it a shot. How can someone get wide like Phil? Okay, my man Phil from Fit World Exposed. Yeah, he's wide as a motherfucker. His shoulders are damn near, they're very close to 60 inches, okay? So he's one of the widest guys I've ever met in my life, And if you want to learn how to do it, well, go to his channel. Go to Fit World Exposed, watch his videos on upper back. He's obsessed with upper back just like me, and he'll give you some tips. One thing that I know that he really believes in is snatch grip lifts. He's a really, really big believer in doing like snatch grip deadlifts. He also likes trap bar rack pulls and different stuff like that. I mean, he's very similar to me. We think alike. That's why we get along so much. But he's a little bit different, So check out his videos. Check out his advice. You'll figure out all that stuff. And of course, watch the ultimate guide to get wide on this channel that I did with him. So that's that. Next question. I'm a powerlifter, but I want to get yoked. If I had cheat rows, cheat shrugs, and direct neck work, will I also get yoked without the rack pulls? Absolutely. You don't need to do the rack pulls to get yoked. If you're a powerlifter and you're doing a lot of deadlifts, right, and you supplement that with some cheat rows, cheat shrugs, and direct neck work, your upper back and traps and neck will hypertrophy to a large extent. Bottom line. Now, do I think that this is the best thing of all time? No. I don't think it's feasible. I don't think it makes the most sense in terms of overloading. And I would rather that you replace deadlifts with rack pulls for the purpose of building your traps because nothing else will stretch them out like it. But if you want to get really good results above average, yes, if you just do deadlifts, cheat row, cheat shrug, direct neck work, you will get yoked. No questions asked. But it's not as optimal than if you were to do the rack pulls. I'm convinced that with the rack pulls, you will notice much more gains because of the extreme weight used. Plus, this is a lot safer on your lower back, so less chance of injury. So that's that. Last question of the week. Alex, are you planning on building a home gym? Not right now, but maybe sometime in my life I will build a home gym because doesn't every serious lifter want to have a gym of their own with their own equipment and not have to deal with a bunch of idiots that show up? I mean, I would like that. Being able to work out at my house 1 in the morning, with fucking a monomarth being blasted to the max, heavy metal, the melodic death metal, shit like that, right? Being able to scream Eric Bugenhagen style, scream at the top of my lungs, fucking get naked while I'm doing rack pulls or something. Why not? Why the hell not? That would be fantastic. Get your own bars, your own power rack. Fucking fantastic. That said, I'm not going to do it anytime soon because I like the gym that I go to. And because I reside in Montreal right now and I'm probably going to move, I'm not going to invest with stuff here. But if I decide to get out of this area, then yes, I'll probably get a home gym. But later in life, not right now. So that said, guys, hope you enjoyed this Q&A video. It was a pleasure answering your questions. Put some more down below, and let's keep breaking this down. Talk to you next time.